Hey, it is 7 o'clock straight up. I'm Dave Globe, and you're not Boogie with the Boat. Tuesday Night Live is on the air, and Jerry Michaels just popped in on his camera. Give me a moment to scroll down here for a second and get this going while we turn the volume down there. I got to do something. Let me check something right here. Yep. All right. Bear with us for a moment. Let me get one thing going here. There we go. That's it. How are you, Mr. Michaels?
Doing good, Dave. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I really am.
Oh, there you go.
This was the surprise that I made reference to when I was talking to you.
Yeah.
I went and got my hair cut, and
All
then,
presentable and stuff. It looks like you
well,
shaved. Holy crap.
I went and got a haircut and told the barber, no, I'll shave myself, and that just didn't shave my beard, and that just didn't work. Anyway, a little bit later.
All right.
Lot of interesting things today. I go to get my haircut, go to lunch with Donna, do some errands, and we don't have a Speaker of the House anymore, I guess.
Well,
Good thing, bad thing.
Apparently, he can put his. I mean, he can choose the temporary one. There's going to be a temporary one,
Okay.
and he can choose them. And then I read just now, actually, before I came on, that he can actually run right now and possibly get voted in.
I was
It's
thinking
insane.
that I was wondering if any possibility that he cut a deal to get Democrat, well, probably to get Republican, but to get Democrat votes for the appropriations bills tonight, get support from the Democrats by stepping down, knowing that, because he said today in a press conference that the Senate Democrats aren't going to pass whatever the House passes anyway. So it looks kind of like we're going to a shutdown anyway. And
Well, whose fault is it, Dave, that it's not getting passed? All right. He's the Speaker of the House. He's the leader of the majority in the House. I mean, sorry, because there were Republicans who didn't want to vote for it either. And,
right.
when you have that majority, you should be able to pass whatever you need to pass. So when you make deals with everybody to be the speaker and then turn around and don't keep your end of the bargain, you kind of get what you deserve.
This is true. This is very true. I don't know where we are in that whole thing anyway. I mean, the whole idea of a shutdown, the more I think about it, is it's kind of stupid. Everybody else doesn't get paid. The military does. Yes, the military gets paid because it's in one of the bills. It's in one of the three bills to make sure the military and border patrol continue to get paid. And they get paid. So, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, it really should be they don't get paid, and they don't get paid until they fix this. And unfortunately, I don't think that's ever going to happen. But what do you think?
Well, my personal opinion is if they shut down the government, they should shut down everything and give us a break for 10 minutes. But they don't. I think Nick said it was like 18 or 19% of the government actually shuts down, and then they get paid at the end anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
They just get, depending on how many days they not work, they get paid anyhow.
Right.
It's a set pay scale, I guess, like in the military. You get this, and that's it. Doesn't matter how many hours you work, that's it. So, my personal opinion is, like Jim Jordan said, it comes out today. He was supposedly on our show last, or at least listening to it last
Yeah.
night.
Very cool.
Him and the lady from I don't know. Stephen Tolliver said he was with them, but he
Wow.
came out today and said McCarthy was a strong leader and we shouldn't do. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's like I don't know. I think they're all full of crap, Dave. I'll be truthful.
I do too. I mean, I don't know who to believe anymore. One day McCarthy's saying he's got the votes. He's going to get this thing passed. It's about time they've done this. It's the first time a Republican House has done this in like the history of Republican houses. My whole thing when I heard that he was no longer the speaker is, where does that leave the impeachment? With a new Republican speaker, just sweep it under the rug and go on to less important business?
I doubt it. The Republicans are. This is my opinion only, but I think that the Republicans are just putting on a show right now with that impeachment. There is so much evidence against this president that criminal evidence that they could have the vote today. They don't need inquiries. They don't need endless hearings and witnesses and all this crap. They need to have a vote. And they're not, you know what? Even if they vote to impeach him, it's going to walk across to the Senate, and the Senate's going to knock it down anyway. So it makes no difference. And there will be Republican help in the Senate to do so.
There will be. I mean, the only thing that was interesting was to hear Mitt Romney say that he's going to step down. This is his last term, but he's going to support impeachment. And I'm sure the only reason he's supporting impeachment is because he's stepping down. So there won't be any.
Well, he was the one that didn't want to do it in the first place. So how is he supporting impeachment now? In the first place, he didn't even want to do it. They had to force him to do it.
Right. I think he's supporting it only because, like I said, he's stepping down, and there may be fallback if he ever wants to run again. But what's he going to run for again? I don't think any Republican will grab him as their vice president. I don't think he'll see president again. But
Well, I think the whole thing is insane, frankly. We have a president that is in no way, shape, or form fit to serve mentally, and who has been a criminal for 40 years. And he ramped up his criminal activities as vice president and denied everything, and then turned around and, listen, when you put your crackhead son in charge of your business and it all falls apart, you deserve every single bad thing that can happen to you. Okay? Simple as that. And that's what he did. He put his crackhead son in charge of stuff. And his crackhead son left a laptop at some computer store to get fixed, and it all came falling out.
And that didn't tell Biden if there are any working brain cells left. That was the worst important thing to do. I mean, I just find it odd that none of Hunter Biden's handlers within the deep state didn't tell him, if your laptop needs repairs, we have our own people who will take care of it, or we'll just get you a new one. Why would you drop it off with someone who's go
with the
ahead?
stuff with the stuff he apparently had on it? I would think, because we're not talking about just his secrets with his father. We're talking about pictures and God knows what else.
Yeah.
My guess is you just throw it in a garbage can, metal garbage can, and you pour gasoline in there and you burn it.
Yeah.
Okay, and you burn it twice, and then you burn it a third time, and then you go buy a brand new one for $500 that he obviously has,
Yeah.
and move on from there. You don't take it to some guy to fix your computer and then forget to go get it. I mean,
Right.
come on.
I think Hillary Clinton has a brand called Sledgehammer, which works really good on fixing any problem you have with your computer.
Yeah. Yeah. Somehow, just destroy it. Buy an elephant, have him step on it 30 times, anything. You don't bring it to a random computer store, okay, and you give the guy the password.
Right.
Listen, let's face it. Joe Biden deserves every bad thing that's happening to him, simply because he's been a criminal his entire career. I might add, a racist criminal.
Yep. I still come, aside from the point that we all seem to come back to, what did he do in 50 years that got him
Nothing.
the Oval Office, other than, he can hold strings and do whatever actions they make him do. And now you got to ask them. I mean, if you ask Barack Obama, was it the worst mistake he ever made, would he give you an honest answer and say yes?
Well, my opinion is what he did was, first of all, somehow last that long in office. Second thing he did was he was a corrupted piece of garbage that could be easily handled as president. Okay.
Yep.
And the third thing he did was, when senile or, Alzheimer's or, whatever, and that made him even easier to handle to a point. I believe the Democrats in the deep state are definitely seeing their mistake in that, when, like today or yesterday, he can't even remember how many grandchildren he has. And he says are the most important things in his life, so you'd think he'd remember that number. But I think those are the only three things he's easily handled because of his past. They say jump, he doesn't say no because he doesn't want all that coming out. So he just, does all this stupid crap. And he's not even the president. I want to know who the actual handlers are,
Right.
because there's no way that he's functioning, all day as president of the United States. There's no way.
No, they say he's up late at night, and then I don't know what time, but it's late, usually after midnight, that he goes to bed. He's up early in the morning, around 6:30, and then by 4:00, everybody says he takes a nap at 4:00, and who knows how long that is. It's probably until midnight when he gets up again.
My guess is they're just saying that to make him seem better. I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah.
I believe he's in his Pampers by 7:00.
I think he's in his Pampers
and probably sleeps all night. It could be, and I also believe that's possible. By the way, um, also, um, him getting up early or whatever. I don't know, but my guess is that he doesn't know what time it is, and he's probably better in the morning than he is in the afternoon or night or whatever. And that's why you see a lot of his press conferences in the morning.
I can't watch a lot of his press conferences because it just seems like they put up some kind of a backdrop behind him, and it's like listening to Hitler. These people are bad. These
No,
people are bad. These people are bad. These people are bad. And it's like,
yeah,
and there's probably no one there listening to him, other than the camera crew or the production crew
I'm proud.
that's broadcasting it.
I don't know. I'm proud to say I've never listened to a Joe Biden speech. Um, I have read about them, and they seem that every single one he loses his place, can't remember this, can't remember that. Um, the famous shaking hands with somebody who wasn't there, walks off the wrong side of the stage. His wife has to come out and get him or somebody. He can't even do an Easter egg hunt without the rabbit teaching him what to do.
Yeah,
So my guess is I'm much better off not actually listening to the sound of his voice because in the stuff that he does say that makes sense, none of it, as you said, as you just said, none of it's good. Not one damn bit of it. It's all preaching. It's like preaching hate up there against anybody who's conservative, anybody who's Republican, anybody who like us, we the people. That's all it is. And so I can't listen to that either. You're right.
any possibility that the whole thing, the claiming to have dementia and whatever is all an act? Because I've read articles where even people in his administration say that when the cameras turn off, when the lights go off, and it's just him and his staff, he is a completely different person. And the level of anger makes them think that he fully understands what's going on, not just a person with dementia getting upset because of difficulties of being able to do things anymore. He just knows who he is. He knows what's going on. He knows this game, and he just gets angry. But
Well, I don't know. I just know that they say a lot of things about him to make him seem like he's perfectly sane. And quite frankly, what we see when he speaks, why would he just turn that on and off? That makes no sense.
yeah,
And that's just
now
my opinion.
now the funny thing is they claim on his side that they're turning his mic. They are in fact turning his mic off or dragging him away from a microphone so that he can't speak or something doesn't get picked up because he forgets that the microphone is live. Yeah, I mean, and we all make a stupid mistake and forget to turn the microphone off and say something stupid at one point here and there, but to do it every day, no.
No, he's obviously impaired. I think what's happening is elder abuse. If this was anybody like a regular person being forced to do this, the people doing it would go to jail. What the hell did he do to his wife that lets her put him through this? I mean,
I can't give you an answer to it other than saying what I've heard from families of people who were dealing with dementia or Alzheimer's, or even watching my own relatives who had Alzheimer's. You get to the point where you know you only remember, and you may not even remember who they are, but you remember this person was with you all the time. So you trust whatever they tell you to do. So that it's not Joe Biden being the president, it's Joe Biden getting her orders from somebody, and she's just making sure that he does it, which is elder abuse. She's making sure he does what he's told to do. But I question it all the time, and no one will give me an answer. Why did it get this far? Because I was under the belief that Kamala Harris was supposed to get Joe Biden elected. And when he got elected, she was supposed to use the 25th Amendment to politely send him home and become the president. And then supposedly at the last minute, that changed and they don't want her to be president. I can't for the life of me think why they would want her name on the ballot next to Trump's. I mean, he's going to sell out every debate months in advance because people are going to want to be there to watch that show. He's not going to have to say more than maybe 3 sentences in that whole debate, and she'll prove why people should vote for Trump. Speaking of that, with RFK Jr. going independent, does that pick up the possibility that maybe Trump grabs him as his vice president? And if and when Trump is elected president, RFK switches parties? No?
No. Trump's going to pick a woman.
Okay.
He'll pick somebody like Carrie Lake or, some woman who's already like either a representative or something. And I might add, do a much better job than Joe Biden did picking the one woman that called him a rapist and who has become a complete disaster from the very day she was elected vice president. So I think Trump will pick the right person, but it ain't going to be him.
Yeah. What do you think is good? You bring up Carrie Lake.
They hate things.
Go ahead.
He's saying a lot of things. Yeah, Carrie Lake is, I think, running for senator at this point.
Yeah.
Of what, Arizona, right?
Yeah.
I heard.
And I was going to question you on what do you think is going on with Katie Hobbs, who somehow managed to win governor, disappeared for a day or so, came back with a Gitmo style haircut and wearing blue denim, and people keep asking me, and I don't have any information. I haven't really followed it. If maybe did she get a Gitmo tribunal?
I doubt it, but she if there was ever a governor that needs to be recalled, it's her.
Yeah.
This is my problem with elections. If you already hold office, you should have to resign that office to run for another office. You should not be allowed to hold an office and run for an office, especially when you are the supervisor of elections for an entire state,
right?
And you're running for governor. Okay, come on. If that ain't a conflict of interest, I don't know what is.
Right. No, you're 100% right.
So.
You are 100% right.
But Katie, I heard she had disappeared. Was it a day or something? It was however long it was. But that's all I really heard. I think I read a headline and I didn't really care, so I didn't read it. But yeah, I didn't know about the haircut and all that. Maybe she went on a drug run. Who knows? Or she went lesbian. I don't know.
Could very well be.
I don't care. We got enough problems in our own state where I haven't heard nothing in the news about the governor's office since this idiot went off and trying to beat Trump. And I think people are kind of pissed at DeSantis, because it's not right to be a governor of a state and go run for president. You resign and give it to the vice governor, or, whoever the fuck they call him, and then you go run for president. And you lose badly because he's losing badly. Every single place he goes to, he loses. He's like in last place. He's behind Chris Christie. How bad can you be if you're behind Chris Christie? That flounder couldn't get elected dog catcher.
Well, my question to that is, when you're Asa Hutchinson and you have 0%, why do you stay in? I mean, the only thing I could imagine is if God forbid something happened to Trump and he couldn't run, then maybe there's a chance you might get 2%, and Florida gets a new governor. And to this day, honestly, I can't tell you. I'm stuck. I hate that discussion that people try to get me into over whether or not DeSantis should run or should remain governor, because half the time I say he should just run away and not be governor and give up chasing president, and the other half of the time, that's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, this is a nut one. This is a nut job right here.
That is a beautiful dog.
She's a red bone. She's a red bone hound. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but she's actually like red.
Yeah.
And this one is the killer here. This is the killer. Yeah, I don't know, Dave. This whole damn thing. Everybody got to get down. I'm doing a show, and you're interrupting. All right. The whole damn thing where you run for office, you get whatever office, governor, whatever, and then you run for something higher, and basically the state is running, and basically the state is, we're no different than we were before, but what it may. I've known this since the day he announced he was running for governor, that he was actually running for president. And I know all the things he did in Florida was to run for president. That's the thing people don't get about DeSantis. He's a politician. Big time. And when he got, during his campaign for the presidency, he kind of got in bed with the Bushes, from what I understand, which killed it for me.
Yeah. Probably killed it for him.
You want to, yeah, I think so. I think you're absolutely right about that. And also, you don't go up against what is turning into Trump is damn near a martyr. Okay, it's as close as we get to having a martyr in this country. You don't go up against that and talk trash.
No.
Trump is beloved by a lot of people in this country, and even people don't like it, want him back because the economy and all that, and of course Iran, and we're giving billions to, and you got what's his name, all these things, Ukraine, all this stuff. They want him back. Even people don't like him want him back. Okay, you don't do that. That was a stupid move. Whoever told him he could beat Trump was a fool.
I know you're going to say no chance to this,
okay,
but
I don't know.
Was there any chance?
Hold on one second, Dave.
Okay.
Dave, hold on one second. People are commenting on Facebook, and I don't know who they are because it just says Facebook user.
Right.
I suspect that one Facebook user is Alan, because he had a little smart ass comment there.
Right.
I think one is
Larry.
Larry.
I know one is Larry. I don't know which one, but one is Larry. The problem with the Facebook user is that, according to StreamYard, all of those people have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give it permission. And I don't know why, but they do. And because
Facebook.
And because they don't, the question is becoming whether or not I just keep it on my profile and don't worry about sending it to the page anymore because the page is set up so everybody comes up.
Well, what I don't get is the only time we have this problem, right?
Yep.
Is if it's somebody like either a troll or somebody brand new,
Yeah.
and but well, you've seen our show. Everybody's name shows
Right.
up, and I don't
Right.
remember ever doing anything to make that happen. I
Yeah.
don't. So I don't know if I did
Yeah, there's a
something a long time ago or what. But
there was a setting that they walked me through to change that was supposed to fix it for the group, and it never did. So worst comes to worst, like I said, it may just be easy to just drop it from the group, keep it on my profile in the YouTube channel, and it goes away. I'm sorry then, Michael, that the link isn't working. It's the same. There it is. Well, let me see if it comes in. He's up in there. It's working.
Here.
It's working.
There it is.
Live from Studio B up at the camp house.
Live from Studio Nancy. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Nancy, how are you? Anyway, I didn't know if I would come through clear or not.
I thought you had said you were doing the Karen and Nancy show at 7:00.
No, Dave. I did. Look, when you asked me to come on, I knew I was going to be up here. Jerry knew it. I sent him some pictures. The problem is I don't always get good service, so I'm in my little Studio B format. It's working. That's all I can tell you. I didn't think it would, but it is.
I'm glad it is. Your comments on Kevin McCarthy? Just forget about him and hope we get someone
so
who.
Long, mother.
Okay. Who?
Well, I mean, look. First off, let me say this. Everything that you guys been talking about are great highlight points and thoughts. Keep that mindset in place the best you guys can. Was he helping us? No. Did they know that there was going to be issues by choosing him? Of course. That's why it took 15 votes. That's why they're trying to show him now whether he has a chance in hell to come back. I'm going to say probably not. This is going to be one of the most embarrassing moments of his life, and he's not going to know how to deal with it very well. But when you reach to the other side of another party for support and make claims of other things, don't think that the Republican Party of good aren't paying close attention. I say put Jim Jordan or Gates or somebody in there. Look, anybody but him right now, because of how critical the moments in time are and what little time we have left for a positive outlook to 2024. When I talked about 3 years ago, expect the draft. Well, guess what? The draft is now in play. The documents are written out. They want to go to war with Russia and China. We want all these people removed, anybody that can be removed. And we need a major reset in order to do that, to protect our children, because they're already within their memos documenting 3,600 lives per day of losses. What do they want to do? Kill all of our children? Most certainly. Most certainly. Why not put them staring down the barrel of a gun or a cannon of an opposition of a false war, a pretense that they just want to have because they make money on war? So I just to say those things, that's our next focus should really be doing anything that we can, but we can't do much when people have always been in charge. I made a couple comments about truancy officers and how that worked in schools when people said, oh, it wasn't like this years ago. Oh, most certainly it was like that years ago. They have controlled us on every element of every level for the past 100 years and been successful at doing it, while we are blind to say it's never happened before when it's always happened before and it's always been in placement. We just forget. We're not paying attention. We're not utilizing the tool, the mentality of what we know. We're forgetting it. And why? Because of a lot of the things that we're surrounded with.
All right, let me throw one quick thing at you, then we're going to go to Jen because she has finally arrived. Marjorie Taylor Greene, could she pull off being speaker? And Jerry, you can weigh in also if you want.
If you're asking me, I think
doubt it.
anything,
I'm asking both of you.
well, I'm going to just reply saying that anything is possible right now. And when you look at the contacts of where certain people have contact, it's very plausible that that could happen. So there's very positive outlooks for Marjorie, Jim, and Gates, of course. So Matt Gates. And they wanted Matt out of this system a long time ago when they said that he was human trafficking young children. Remember that now. Okay? There were reasons why they were going after him so early in the game because they knew these days would come.
Okay. All right. And on that note, we move to the lower left-hand corner of your screen.
Hi, guys. Oh, stop. You're funny, Dave. Hi. Wow.
I'm
Pardon
glad you
me.
made it. No. I'm glad you made it here.
Yeah, I had some trouble. I couldn't restart in something was wrong with the drivers. And then I went to one of your groups where Brandon, I don't know a Brandon, and I thought, oh my gosh, he's infiltrated.
Well, Brandon Eason.
I didn't know. I never knew. I just know of one person named Brandon, and we chant about him at football games, and I'm like, oh my God, he knows we're here. Okay.
Yeah, Brandon Eason has a page, Elite Deception Media, and he's been doing the same kind of thing that I'm doing. A little bit longer than me, I believe a little less as long as Jerry, and I don't know anywhere near as long as Michael. And we were going to have him on a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know if it was weather or something. We couldn't get him. We couldn't get him on, so maybe we'll get him on Thursday night this week.
Wow, I was just making a meme about the speaker, and I'm so happy they finally ousted him. And my son was laughing. He said, Mom, you got to see these texts at the White House, and they're sharing these. And I said, oh my gosh, that's great. Because the first one is the looming ousting this morning. They're talking about, we're going to oust the speaker today. And then McCarthy gets on there and he says, bring it on. And then the next text is from Gates and he says, I just did. And I thought, oh, this is wonderful. So we were watching like the news and the text and everything going on this morning. And you know what they did? They finally ousted Biden, the Biden. He wants to be a brand, so I'm calling him the Biden. I can't stand what he's doing to this country. But what they did is they just ousted his best underwriter because that's basically all he did was underwrite. He would do shenanigans with the budget, never balanced it. And I mean, we still can't go grocery shopping and get gas on the same paycheck. We have to like plan these things out. It's ridiculous. But we're sending all this cash to Ukraine, and this is so stupid. So finally, I love the last post that you sent me, Dave, that said not another dime to the Ukraine or
with the Ukraine colors on it. I thought that was great. Terry Stark sent that just before.
Oh, she's good.
It was time to come on. Yep.
Right. Yeah. So I'm so glad we did that, but now we have a hole to fill. And it's crazy because if you think about it, really, that's the third person in line to be president. And so we have to be very selective. You know, first it goes to whoever the president is. And then if he gets sick or dies, then it goes to the VP.
You mean we have to wait for him to die? No, I'm sorry. That was a bad. Yeah.
I just want to say I didn't say that. Okay.
Joe, if you're listening, I love you, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime.
Oh boy. Yeah. So no, I just got the weirdest email too from my teacher friend in Michigan, Tina. And they are sending out, and she's just like me, and we're conspiracy theorists. Actually, we're not. We're not conspiracy theorists. If we think something and it really does happen, it means you knew what you were talking about. So anyways, the schools in Michigan just got this memo sent out that said, tomorrow, Wednesday, the 4th of October is Small Electronics Day. And it's encouraging all the children, which this truly has never happened before, encouraging all the children, especially in the 4th grade, because that's the grade we love, and especially the 4th graders, to bring in a small appliance. And I'm like, why? So they can all be killed with the EMP? Are they trying to encourage the parents? Like, oh no, whatever you're thinking about what we're doing, it's not that. We want you to bring small appliances. So the teachers are like, how are we going to control these kids if they have all their toys with them? So I don't know why the schools are encouraging them. And I'm looking at the Idaho schools, and they didn't send out the same memo. But it's just really weird. So what do you think about this high pitch, or what is it? The emergency broadcast signal
Okay.
that's going to go off
Yeah.
at 2:20.
All I'm going to say is, and then I'll turn it to Michael and Jerry. In my broadcasting education, broadcast and telecommunications, the FCC sets up every 2 years, and they plan it. It's like planned out until there are no more any years, to do a test of the emergency broadcast system to make sure it is working on all media. So that technically is part of it. Part of my paranoia is what everybody else's paranoia has, is that at 2:30 they're going to send out this test tone, and at 2:31, if you didn't get it, you don't have a working cellular phone and you don't have internet anymore. And I don't know how I would handle not having internet. I know that if I couldn't use my phone anymore, that's a major problem, because I communicate with everybody by my phone. So could it happen because I'm a conservative Republican and the world is shenanigans Democrats? Yeah. Do we have the technology to do it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Michael might agree, Jerry might agree. China can send a bomb that would probably blow out our whole communications infrastructure before we even knew that it hit. But Jerry, why don't you go and give your response, and then we'll drop down to Michael.
I may just leave my stuff on and hope it blows up everything and make my life better. To be truthful, because I don't know if this is I don't know anything about this. I've heard actually Michael talk about it, or actually I've seen posts. I know they do this every so often. I'm not gonna lie. Of course. I'm just gonna sit here and hope for the best. What time is this supposed to happen?
2:30.
2:30. Somebody said
2:30. 2:30 Eastern
2:30.
time, I believe.
Maybe I'll just shut off my phone. Probably couldn't hurt me. I have a phone that I never actually talked to anyone on the phone ever. Ever. My wife does all the talking on the phone. I don't even know why I have a damn phone. The only person I talk to on the phone is my wife. And usually it's from the bedroom to back here or out on the porch. So I don't even know why I have a phone. But I don't know enough about any of this stuff. And all I know is way too much of it, as Jen has said, has come true. And we're looking at down the barrel of horribleness coming to all of us, and more of it every day. And quite frankly, I'm at a loss. I just want shit to get better, and it's not. And people who tell me that, it's going to get worse, I despise hearing that. But every piece of evidence that we just see going on proves that. And that's all I know. So probably not the guy to ask.
I mean,
but I will fill up 10 minutes of time talking about crap.
It scares me only because I mean, I've been online, social media, whatever you want to call it, since 1982. So, I mean, I'm used to communicating that way. I might miss it for a little bit, but at least if my cell phone still worked and I could call people and talk, or probably find other things to do. Probably find out that there's a beautiful world here in Florida outside my door, rather than sitting behind this thing for 18 hours a day. My biggest scare, or my biggest scare is that this whole thing is a joke, and that the only thing that's going to happen is I might get locked out of Facebook. At 231, I might not be able to be on Facebook anymore, and that wouldn't bother me because I'm on so many other social media networks anyway that everything I do on Facebook I can do someplace else. So, so I don't know.
There you go.
And a lot of times I've said to people, you hear all this crap, you read all this crap. I may even tell you all this crap about Facebook every day, but I log off and I go to Street Lock. None of this Facebook crap exists. I go to Twitter, X, whatever. I'm in a group of people that everybody hates anyway. I'm a conservative Republican and I'm on Twitter. So, everybody hates me anyway. About, Truth Social, we're not talking about this crap. Michael, you're doing the real world of what I always hoped one day I would be doing. You're doing the social media side, You're doing the radio side, some TV side. I mean, it is the negatives of what could happen with this EBS test just brain-numbing psychology that Facebook is trying to throw at us, because the real answer to the big socialist media thing is just don't use Facebook anymore. Go ahead. Did you freeze?
You remember Y2J?
Yeah, Y2J, I think I had 25 devices at home set up on my bed, on my desk, and I sat there and then I laughed that 12:05, everything worked fine. It went back to 01 and started counting again. Okay, Michael may have frozen him up. We'll give him a...
This is one thing I can tell you, Dave. If there was ever to be a war of any kind or anything like that in this country, the first thing the government would do is shut down the internet, shut down phones, cell phones, anything like that. We no longer have house phones, okay, where, it'd be a lot easier. We have internet phones for house phones now. So, yeah, if the government was planning to put us down, that would be the first thing they do. That's the first thing you always try to do, is cut the communications, because without communications, we're less than nothing.
Right, but
we'd have to come up with a whole new communication system.
Well, that's why I said earlier, if China really wanted to, any enemy wanted to make sure they won a war with us, they just bomb the communications infrastructure, knock that out, and then it doesn't matter if you're at home with every conceivable gun you can think of. I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that.
What that does psychologically is put people into fear and being alone, feeling alone, and basically just waiting to see what's going to happen, if it's going to happen to them. Because without communications, let's face it, everybody I talk to lives, other than like Dave and Jolene, they live in a different state altogether. So you're going to start to feel, that alone thing. And if you are a part of some sort of fighting force with no communications, you do have some major problems. That's why ham radio operators will be probably the most valuable people on the planet. And even that they can jam, I'm sure.
This is true. Also, just joining in is Nikki Young, everybody's favorite internet T-man. Nikki, what do you think? You've been watching?
Well, I just joined.
Okay.
out doing errands, but I can only imagine you're talking about the alarm that's going to go off on the phones tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get on Wi-Fi. That way you're not on your cell service and they can't get to you.
Mm.
Simple solution.
But if they're trying, it's like I said on post today to people who said they're going to take their batteries out of their phones, they're going to do this, they're going to do that.
Can't take mine out.
When you take, okay, but if you could take your battery out, if you could take your SIM card out, when you plug that all back in, if this is designed to take the internet away from us, when you log back on for the first time, you're just going to disable your phone from the internet.
No.
Do you think it's strong enough to like burn out the grid? Do you think it's strong enough signal on like our smart TVs, smartphones, cell phones, everything to just kill the grid? Because that was another point. And then my friend in Michigan and I were laughing about, we finally got those kids' cell phones. You know, if it works, we finally got them, because that's like the biggest thing in school that we have to deal with is getting the kids off their phones. Did we lose Michael? We did.
We did. He's up at his cabin and he doesn't always get the best signal.
Yeah. Does anybody realize this is not the first time?
No, do tell us when this happened, please.
For several years, they've been doing this. Every year, it's a test from
This
the
is a
federal
test.
government.
It's a
National
test.
emergency
Yeah,
test.
usually I thought it was every 2 years.
This is
Yeah.
not the first time. So
Okay.
tomorrow's not D-Day.
No. They also did it when analog TV went to digital. They did a big nationwide test that
Yeah,
included phones. The first
I
in that
remember.
test too.
I
Go ahead, Jerry.
remember the test they used to do as I was growing up. They did tests.
Emergency test.
Yeah,
It was,
Same
I
thing.
don't know. It had to be analog because we had a color TV at the time. But then that
Right.
damn noise that is the most annoying. It's
I
almost as
get
bad as
weekly
the AOL
tests.
noise,
I
but
get
much
weekly
louder.
tests on my TV.
Yeah, they would
that
do
just
them not all the
interrupts.
time, but I mean, you'd hear it. I
Yeah.
heard it a bunch of
Right.
times, so I don't know.
or if you're listening
Yeah.
to radio, sometimes you'll all of a sudden hear the tone behind the music or
Yeah.
whatever's going on, and that's they just turn that sound off so you
Well,
don't
isn't
hear it.
analog? All right, doesn't analog mean that like now we got the internet, everybody's interconnected? Doesn't
that's
analog mean
digital.
we were never in it? We weren't interconnected. Yeah, so I guess if they were going to do something, and I don't know enough about this
Comes
shit,
through
so
the
I ain't gonna
cable
give my opinion on
system.
whether it happens or not. But
Well, they do it over the
you know,
airway.
if they were going to do something, now that we're all interconnected to each other, I guess would be the time to do it.
Yeah, you got rabbit ears with the tinfoil on it. They're still
Yeah.
going to get you. one
Well,
way or
yeah,
the
you're
other.
still going to get it, but
Yeah.
now they've just upgraded that emergency, or made us think they've upgraded that emergency system so that now if they need to get a hold of us in the event of an emergency and this is all you have, then this is how they're going to get a hold of you. Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, because everybody lost landlines. Now
Right.
I have a so-called landline cable.
I haven't had a
Same
landline.
number I've been having for
It's kinda,
53 years, but
at
it's
the
through
ver-
internet cable now.
very
It's not
least, to
AT&T or Bell South anymore.
it's kind of oh shit.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Go.
Yeah. What's scary is the fact it's not the fact that the fact is they can you know they can do this. That's the scary part if they wanted to. Well, I don't know if they want to or not. I don't know, but I do know that they would love it if every one of people like us were not on the internet spewing what we're spewing because we're not wrong. And
Right.
so the scariest part to me is the fact that if they wanted to, they could definitely do it. There's zero doubt of that in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, Definitely.
think
They do it
tomorrow
on
will
my
be much
TV
like
every
Y2K
week.
you were talking about before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I believe that nothing will happen. But, in the future, I got to tell you, in this country, we don't know nothing about the future. We really don't. Because the way stuff's going, we have no idea what's going to
Pretty much
happen
don't
next.
have a future.
Right.
And it just keeps getting worse, everything that is happening. So why not this? You know what I mean?
Every week, in Louisiana, they do one of these emergency broadcast tests every week on TV, and it aggravates the dog shit out of me because first thing, it's all freaking Spanish.
Well, that's
Then
because Telemundo owns it all.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, it's not
You are.
French. Oh my god.
No.
Telemundo
No.
probably owns all the TV stations.
And you get one screen real fast of the English, and you got to try to read it real quick. And then when there's a bad storm coming, that's normally when that happens all the time around here, because storm could crank up at any given time. It could happen right now, and I'd get a alert on my TV, and it's a blue screen with some white writing all in Spanglish, and you got to try to figure it out, and it's like 7 pages long. And then they tell you all the parishes that are good. There's a tornado watch, or a severe storm watch, or hail, or whatever the hell is going to happen. High winds, but that happen. But they do it every week as a test. It's the same damn thing. It's exactly the same thing. It's a government test to alert you. Your phone will not be taken over by the government. You're not going to lose your life or your grandchildren or anything like that. And then I read an article that said, if you don't want to get the alert, just put your shit on Wi-Fi. That way it's not public broadcast over the air on your cell phone provider. Stay on your Wi-Fi.
If
They
your
can't get
Wi-Fi
to you
is
that
your
way.
home is a cable network, will you still get it? Like we have
No.
we have Xfinity Wi-Fi. Would we still get it?
As far as I read, no, you won't get it.
Okay.
Because your
Okay.
phone is the device, not your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Phone is the device that gets it over your phone service that will send it to you. Put your shit on Wi-Fi, and you most likely, well, I'm gonna have to test it because I'm always on Wi-Fi here. So I'll see if I get it, and I'll let you all know.
Your phone gets it. We have Straight Talk, so we probably won't get it. Down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen, Crazy Horse Stephen Tolliver has joined us. I apologize, Stephen. I'm still.
Hi,
I
Stephen.
take my eye away from when there are more than 4 people, and it's just a weird. It's a hard screen, and one of these days I'll get it figured out. But
no problem. No.
Join us
problem.
with your comments and what we've been doing so far.
Actually, I just got on, so yeah, I didn't hear much, but I'm just tickled pink about last night's show. In the background, I had the volume on, and I was shocked that they sat next to me and were listening very intently.
People
And,
in Congress you're talking about, like Jim Jordan and
Yes.
Robert. Oh wow, that is awesome.
Is
That's
he as
really
nice
cool.
as he appears in person? I mean, I know he can be a hothead, but is he as nice as he appears?
Oh,
Stephen?
yeah, even nicer.
Yeah.
Even nicer. So.
But he's a hard ass.
Oh yeah.
He
He is one of the most original people in the federal government that I have ever met. So.
That's awesome.
And I even said, hey, why don't we just join and you guys be in the background sitting here, and they says, well, we're thinking about your legal ramifications, everything you've been through in the last year and a half. He says, I don't think it's a good idea.
These
And
people
I'm
will
like,
bring you down.
And Steven's like, nah, I don't care. Just come on.
Awesome.
Well, they made a good point. Until my name is totally cleared of everything that I've been found innocent, mistrial, their decision to not prosecute a third time on that one charge, until I am totally exonerated, it could harm their positions.
Oh gosh, right.
But Jen, I have to tell you, Lauren is very adamant about doing a session in Washington
Wow, that's
to
awesome.
to push homeschooling. And we
That's
talked
exciting.
somewhat in length about flying you there
Awesome.
and
Wow.
to testify before Congress.
Ooh.
And she says, "Do you know this HSDL?" I says, "Yeah." I've known about Homeschool Defense League since they started. My children use them for their kids, in their homeschooling. So,
Awesome.
so I will be interacting with you as she progresses in getting this
That's
this thing
exciting.
put together.
Wow. I would love that. That would be wonderful. But what we were talking about originally on this show is this emergency broadcast signal that's going out tomorrow. They're saying around 2:20 Eastern time is what I heard.
Yeah.
And anyhow, what weird things I have read are that they had, first of all, there's patents out on mind control and things they can do. Why would you patent such a thing? How these crooked people can use the RNA jab that people have gotten, like by Moderna and Pfizer. I don't think J&J does the RNA jab, but I think
They don't do the jab anymore.
okay, well that's good. But I guess this
After the blood clots and a rare blood disease that turned out to be less rare than they thought it was, they
right.
agreed to stop making it.
Well, there's patents out where they can control some people or our nervous systems if our nervous system with the RNA jab in it can respond to this high frequency that they're going to put out tomorrow with the emergency broadcast signal. So I'm like, yuck, stop messing with our nervous systems. I mean, isn't that what, or is it just against the Nazis, the Nuremberg Code and the Geneva Convention, which now looks like it was just a Geneva suggestion? But you're not allowed to mess with people, especially us. What the heck? But if you're saying these signals happen all the time, that is actually encouraging. But if they have patents out to do weird things to people or to see how we respond, that's crossing the line. I hate that. No one's heard of that.
Stephen, what have you heard? Have you heard anything? I think your mic is off.
They're going to do the national alert
Right.
with 5G.
And 5G, we already know, sends tones
Right.
out and jabbed people.
I don't have 5G, so there's that.
Okay.
That's nice.
And there's
Oh,
been a weapon designed using sound frequency to control crowds. And if they do it through your phone or your TV on the 5G or whatever, I see everybody's concern. I don't know enough about it to sit here and say, hey, this is what's going to happen or this is what you should do. But I know something about it because from what I understand, by doing it in 5G, and they have that frequency weapon for crowd control for such things like riots and whatnot. I'm very skeptical about this nationwide.
Okay, that's
alert.
encouraging.
So if it's going to be at 2:20 Eastern time, I recommend, like Nick said, put your phone on Wi-Fi. Take it off of the data rate. If you're someplace where there's no Wi-Fi to connect your phone, turn it to Wi-Fi. Shut your phone off.
That won't work either.
It won't?
Nope.
Okay, well, put it in a Faraday cover.
That's the only way to get it to work.
Okay.
Faraday
Okay.
cover.
I mean, we have
Put it
straight
in
Turn your
the
talk.
phone off, we'll still get it.
Put it in the toilet.
Yeah, hit it with a sledgehammer. Call Hillary Clinton and order sledgehammer
call
tonight.
Hillary.
Amazon deliver it 24-hour overnight.
Yeah.
Well, we have straight talk, so I'm resting comfortable knowing that tone will probably blow out the whole straight talk internet and phone service.
Well, before I lose my train of thought, I just want to let you know, Jerry, Jim Jordan was very impressed with you and your panel last night. I was just sad that
could you
I couldn't go live with him.
Hey.
How come today I hear? How come he went today and said that McCarthy was a very strong leader then?
Okay.
Because I read that.
This will take some. This would be a whole show in itself.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To understand the strategy behind that. Okay. I don't fully understand the strategy behind it, but I know Jen got her wish with McCarthy. Okay.
We all did.
He was nothing but an underwriter for Joe. And it was frustrating. We cannot buy groceries and gas on the same paycheck. We have to budget this. Okay, we're going to buy lots of groceries this time. And then in 2 weeks, we're going to go light on the grocery. We'll still get groceries, but it'll be light. But we can get gas. And it's stupid. And then you see on the news that that guy is cashing checks for what? Oh, he got $2 million and 8 other people in his family. One that we don't even know of anymore is in his family, but they got a check. We can't afford anything. And then the stinker from the Ukraine comes to the White House to ask for more money. Wow. It was crazy. It was bad timing over everything. So that's why I wanted him to go. We still haven't. Go ahead.
His removal is, to be quite honest with you, I got my wish, but not in the time frame I wanted it.
Right.
Okay. If they would have done this 2 weeks after he was voted in, after 15 tries, okay,
right,
that would have been perfect timing. The timing of this removal at this day and time has weakened the GOP. We're seeing it. We saw it yesterday. Oh my God. If you can see the infighting, okay, that was the strategy behind Jim's comments today. he
Oh,
doesn't,
wow.
because to be totally honest with you, the GOP is now is flung into a very chaotic situation. And then, and on top of it today, Butler was sworn in as Feinstein's replacement. Uh,
Is she just a temporary?
yes, she's temporary.
Will a more established Democrat get the seat? Is there a chance a Republican might pick up the seat?
It's a battle of the fittest come the next round of elections. She's only temporary.
Okay.
I don't know if the pro tem speaker is the person I would really want there.
Well, see,
It's just the timing of
McCarthy gets to name his successor at this point.
his successor. He named his successor on a secret list
Yeah,
the night that he was voted in. He has a list of people he would,
correct.
and the number one name on that list is his successor.
Correct.
Until
So they
the
can vote on you and in.
right. But since this is the first time in the history of the United States House of Representatives, there's no provision saying that they have to have another election. This pro tem can go on to remain Speaker of the House.
Yep.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, people need to watch what they ask for.
yes.
With
And-
McCarthy, being kicked out, got to be careful. Now, none of us liked his ass.
So-
See, we spoke about this last night at dinner.
There's a careful, decisive strategy that needs to go on here.
Yeah.
Because
So did we as Republicans do this to ourselves and cause McCarthy to step down, or is this part of the Democrats' playbook to screw with the Republican majority?
Okay. See, here's what really has me upset about this. 8 Republicans voted for his ousting. 8, Matt Gaetz and his little crew. Okay.
I lost a whole lot of courage for that. Dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
210 Democrats. Okay. The Democrats wanted him out, didn't even want him in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And last night we spoke about this at dinner, Jim, in MTG. I'm telling you what, she's a loose cannon. She wanted to stay. She wanted to stay in the hotel room and just listen to the show. And she goes, "Oh, tell them to go until midnight. Tell them to keep on going." I'm like, "No, we got to. We got reservations. We got to go do this, that, and the other." But at dinner, we were talking about the time of removing McCarthy should have been 2 weeks after he was elected, to be Speaker. That would have been the most promising time. Okay. And to be quite honest with everybody, McCarthy did this to himself when he put it in play that at any time anyone wanted to, impeach him on it, oust him or whatever, he says, "My door's wide open. I invite you to do so." And he crossed the aisle way too many times. Okay. But Matt Gaetz and his little crew played right into the DNC's playbook.
Yep.
Okay. They have weakened not just their own chances of remaining in power over the House of Representatives, but they've weakened their chances of ever keeping any type of power in the House of Representatives.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Jim Jordan's comments today, that's the strategy behind his comments. He didn't want him to go out this way. Okay, he wanted to take the other path of GOP leaders going to him and saying, "Hey, look, surrender the gavel yourself
Bow
without
out. Just bow out.
without this vote, without the vote, just surrender the gavel, bow out, and we'll go with your suggestion, your first person on your list." And nobody knew who that person was until today. So
I still don't know who that person is.
I can't remember the guy's name, and it's the
Right,
first
so-
time I ever heard of him.
I was going to ask, did Marjorie Taylor Greene have any chance of getting it? But it doesn't sound like she did.
No,
Getting what?
It was a man.
Being
I
named
heard the name, but I had no clue who this dude was.
Well,
so-
MTG
Is this
wasn't
the
even
guy
on the
Robert
list.
was?
No,
Is this the guy,
this guy
from Minnesota?
no,
Is he?
no. This
he
guy's
from
from South
Minnesota?
Carolina. No, I think he's from South Carolina.
yeah, I think so. None of us ever heard that name before, because most of these representatives and senators, you don't know who the shit they are. I mean, you get the ones that are on TV all the time, but the rest of them, you have no clue who they are.
Mhm.
You
Well, here's my question: if we hated McCarthy, why the hell would we want his hand-picked successor? Explain
That's
that to
what
me.
I said. That's why I said I
you
don't
don't have a
know.
choice in it. You
That's
get
why
his hand-picked successor. That's it.
Well, I don't know if I.
No, but they'll vote for somebody, right? They'll vote. They're going to have a vote, I'm assuming.
No,
Who
no,
knows? But
no. See, here's the thing, Jerry. This is the first time in history this has ever happened. Okay.
That a speaker was ousted.
Yeah, but-
Wow.
Yes.
if
First time in
if
history.
he's the pro tem or the temporary or whatever you want to call him, that means that he's temporary, and they got to get together and have a vote, and hopefully,
Not,
within 45 rounds of voting, agree on somebody that's going to fuck us
not
again.
necessary.
Is
There's-
that the way
there's
it
no-
usually goes?
But here's the thing, Jerry. There's nothing in the rules and means that says that they have to have another election.
Nope.
That they have to. This guy can be the speaker, and if
Yep.
and stay there, and then he's the second in line to the presidency. Should anything happen to Joe or
Doesn't the pro tem and the speaker mean that he's just the person behind McCarthy? So if something ever happened to McCarthy while he was speaker, the pro tem,
would come in and take over until McCarthy was able.
whether or not he wants to remain speaker and can hold an election for someone else, I'm sure that's a possibility.
Well, McCarthy already stated that he will not go for speaker. He will not run for speaker again. He stated
Would you?
that
Would
early.
you?
No,
Would you? Okay.
not with the rabid dogs coming after.
After
Now-
no.
I mean, I never trusted McCarthy in the first place because, everybody just watched the Dan Bongino podcast from today. It explains it all. The whole Ukraine thing and all of this, the spending bullshit and the CR and the whole 9 yards, continuing resolution. All that did was just continue to spend just like we've been doing for 45 more days.
Yeah.
But Dan Bongino, I mean, he lays it all out on the line, and it's all about Ukraine. All of the money is about Ukraine. Why is everything about Ukraine and not the United States? We have to fund Ukraine. We have to fund Ukraine. Well, guess why? Because our illustrious non-president up there, they got the dibs on this bastard. Believe me,
That's his laundromat.
that's his
Yeah.
laundromat, and that's what's going on.
With our
Zelensky.
Watch
money.
Dan
It's
Bongino
our
Yeah.
money.
with our money.
Well,
Exactly.
Zelensky has so much dirt.
Crooked as a fart.
But aside
Yeah.
from Zelensky having dirt on Biden, which is
And
where
the
we know
Clintons.
a
And
lot
the
of money,
Clintons.
right? So we know a lot of money's coming there. Isn't there? There's 40 other countries which no one has seemed to name, but I'm sure people may know or don't know that have money that's being washed in Ukraine. Is that money being washed through in Ukraine through Biden bank accounts, or is it just? This is what I don't understand.
It's coming back to Biden.
If there's so much money coming into Ukraine, then why doesn't Zelensky just say, I could hang Biden out to dry?
Then that's
Still have all these trillions of dollars sitting in Ukraine banks from other countries.
but there's no other country.
Okay.
There's no other country is funneling money through the Ukraine.
No.
Venezuela is funneling their money through where?
I don't know, but you're going to tell us.
Through
We're
the
not-
U.S.
Oh God.
Okay. Now here's the thing. It would be very, very detrimental to the protocol for Zelensky to come in and say, here's all the dirt I have on him and his son and the Clintons and the Obamas. Michael Obama received, which nobody's talking about.
Somebody else called him Michael. I'm so
Okay.
impressed.
Has received $15 million. Okay. Through the Ukraine. But what they hurried up and did is they bleach bit all the evidence trail. But here's the thing. You can never erase it completely.
Oh wow.
Okay? So it would be very detrimental to the Ukraine to do so. Zelensky's not going to roll on them. The first $40 billion that they sent Zelensky, his wife went on a shopping spree. We all know about that. She went on a shopping spree in Paris. She went to London. She went to Milan, Italy. She went to Russia, Moscow, on a shopping spree.
Oh wow.
But what people didn't hear in the mainstream media was that $30 billion of that money went to the DNC, was donated through various donors back to the DNC.
That's how they do it.
That's how they get their money.
Okay, just
Well,
like
that explains why they're no longer broke, because for a long time the DNC was broke, and it was coming out in the news. They had no money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah,
around
that's
the time
just
Debbie Wasserman Schultz got booted out as the chairman. Weren't they saying they were broke?
they were broke.
Whatever
And,
happened, I mean, I know got booted out as chairman of them, but is she in the money? Is she in the money trail somewhere?
Go look at her campaign contributions.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Always look at the money trail, and that tells you 99% of what you need to know.
Yeah. Now, on a smaller scale, here in Allegheny County, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, we have a DA race. Okay. That two billionaires are backing very progressive candidate. George Soros is one of them.
My God.
Okay.
I thought he gave it up and now his son could carry on his, which he probably did. Whatever. Sorry, go on. I can't stand that guy. How is there not a bounty on that guy's back?
We do not say anything like that on these shows.
No,
I
on
was
Soros,
just kidding.
we
No.
won't say anything like that, but we will say that Vladimir Putin has said several times that there is an international warrant for Soros' arrest, and I believe it's just supposedly, for what I heard, and Stephen may even tell us the truth, but supposedly I heard it was robbing people's money in Russia and on bad, or what turned out to be, or they were told, bad investments, and that's why Vladimir would love to have him in Russia, but Stephen probably can tell us the accurate reasons. But there is an international warrant. Will it ever be served on him? I don't know. Stephen?
Yeah,
Jen's gonna
there's
get
four
all
countries. There's 4 countries that have.
Jen's gonna get
Pardon me. Sorry.
There's 4
Gary,
countries
I
that
couldn't hear
have.
you.
He said that Jen's going to get us all arrested.
She is. The one person on Boogie with a Bull Tuesday Night Live that could get us arrested is going to turn out to be Jen, the homeschooling mom.
Pardon
Yeah.
me. No, I was just,
Yeah. But
did I say something? Pardon me.
No,
but I have everybody's bond money
Allegedly.
ready.
No.
you have
Okay.
everybody's bond. Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Stephen, you're awesome.
So there's 4 countries that have indicted him
Yep.
for crimes of humanity against humanity,
Right.
and whatnot. But here's the thing: Interpol will not enforce the indictments or the warrants for his arrest. Interpol will not do it because Interpol is part of the elitist organization.
But is it they can't? I mean,
they can find him. They know where he's at.
No. I mean, they can find him. What I was going to say is they're trying to follow the money. And I mean, every once in a while you hear George say this open source foundation with $10 trillion in it donated to something, and then you hear him list 140,000 other shell companies. It's not as easy to find where Soros has his money as where Biden, the 20 shell companies that the Bidens have, is it?
Yeah,
he's got enough.
They don't want to.
That's the whole thing. They're all being bought off.
And didn't he got rich because he did the same thing the Clintons did? Was there like a disaster or something? He came in to save the day, and everybody took everyone's houses, and that's how he got rich.
Well, where he got rich is he ratted out all the Jews.
Yeah. Well,
okay, the Jewish people in Germany, in Poland, in Austria.
Right. And he was the one who delivered the notices. I'm sorry, Stephen, go ahead.
So that's where he started amassing his riches. He stole artwork. He stole gold. He stole, just like the Nazis did,
He did it for the Nazis.
Yeah.
His
And
father.
go ahead.
His father was a prominent Hungarian lawyer. The last name, the Jewish last name Schwartz, it was Schwartz. It wasn't Soros. It was Schwartz. When the Nazis came to town, supposedly George's father changed it to Soros, which didn't sound Jewish. Played George against the local Nazis so that he got in with them. And little Georgie was delivering the notices to go to the death camp, to go to the trains, to go to the camps. And then once these people left, like Stephen said, Georgie was inventorying the homes, and if he saw something the Nazis might appreciate, he gave it to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He kept more than he gave them.
Okay.
Yeah, he kept more than he gave them. Then he started, this foundation, financial company that built millions of people out of their wealth.
Which is why Putin wants it.
So, anyhow, come on. We all know that they want one world government. They want a one world court. And this is what I tell people, and this is just my opinion. If you have a one world government, what country is going to take the head of it and say, this is how it's going to be done?
I hope it never gets to that point, because honestly, my brain is about ready to explode right now on that, because we're sitting here somewhere that doesn't want us to be doing this. And if it was a one world government, they could literally knock on my door and say, come with us. And the next thing I know, I wake up in Budapest. It came out. But I mean, I wake up somewhere outside of the United States, and that's the end of it.
No. That is not what would happen. What your viewers would be seeing if this was a one world government is 4 craniums being ventilated live.
Oh God.
And say, if you choose to do this, this is what's going to happen to you. We would be made examples. We would be martyrs. Okay? If this was a one world government. And here's the thing. We know in a one world government, they're going to take the cream of the crop of every country and set up a panel. Okay? Probably somewhere in Stockholm, Sweden. Okay?
Yeah.
And say, this is the group of people who are going to make the laws and do this and redistribute wealth, which we know they'll take the cream off the top and then give us the unpassionate. Yeah. We won't even get the curds. We won't even get the whey. We'll get, the bottom of the milk pail. Okay? But George Soros has been working towards this since 1939. He was 15 years old when he was recruited.
Wow.
He is one that I can only wish when they finally get him, Stephen, that I am there with a camera and a microphone, because I only have one question. Why?
Who cares?
Would anyone who calls himself, now he's calling himself Jewish. That's an insult to me and everybody else who is, because he was raised a non-observant Jew. I want to sit down with George and God when we're both up there one day and have God explain to me what the hell a non-observant Jew is. but that's another broadcast.
So anyways, we've got to, and I've said this several times, and I think Jerry's agreed with me, we've got to become organized. We've got
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
No, that was
the
my
wrong.
no.
See,
I did.
Jen,
I'm sorry.
now,
They
Jen,
said the.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I hit the wrong button.
Jen, you got him
Thought it
arrested.
said the wrong
You
word.
got him arrested, Jen. Look what happens.
No,
All
no,
you
no,
do is-
no. I thought
and you
I
got him
thought
arrested.
I thought somebody else was
My
coming.
God. I didn't even see
I'll be
big
the first
black
to tell you.
SUVs this time. Usually
I'll be
there's
the
like
first one to
SUVs
tell
The
you
down
FBI's
there.
at his house now.
Oof.
No,
Bingo.
I'll
Hands
be the
up,
first
don't
one to
shoot.
tell you that using StreamYard on a Chromebook is the work is a very hard screen to work with. I thought somebody else who was waiting to come on was where Stephen was, and I went to bring them on, and I cut Stephen off by mistake.
That was
oh,
scary.
that's all right.
But you're
Okay,
telling us we have to get what? We have to get
we have to get organized.
organized.
Okay, that my first two pieces of advice to anybody who starts to get in to We the People movement,
Mm-hmm.
when you enter, before you enter, leave your personality and your ego at the door.
That's good.
Okay? Jerry only wants to be a lance corporal. I just want to be a first sergeant. Okay? I'm not good enough to be a general. I don't want to be a general, even if I'm good enough. Okay? We need a chain of command. We need rules of engagement that are different, because now this is a different time and era. You know, the rules of engagement are changing constantly. We need to stop fighting amongst ourselves. Okay? And that good old adage that you brought up, that one of your family members had said before, it is not for me to question why,
Yeah.
but it is for me to do
Yep.
or die.
Yep.
Okay? There's too much bickering and egos clashing. That's why I say check your egos. Okay?
At the door.
If something I say isn't quite up to snuff, I don't mind being called out on it, and I will admit when I'm wrong. There's too many egos in these movements that they don't want to admit when they're wrong, because they're so hard-headed that they are unteachable, untrainable.
Oh, that's bad.
Okay? So what do we have to do? We have to become strong, respect one another. Not everybody's going to be the chief. Okay?
Yeah.
And
Not so many chiefs. You need more Indians.
I don't want to be the chief. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. This kind of stuff. Like
okay. And when you're called,
I don't want to be. I don't want to be a chief.
And when you're called upon for your talent, do it graciously.
That's good.
Now, there was a lot of conversation about, you got to run for Congress. You got to run for Congress. I don't want to run for Congress. Okay? I've tried it. It didn't work out too well for me. Okay? And there's times that there's people like Jerry, there's people like Dave and you, Jen, and Nikki. You need to run for office. We need your voices in Washington on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? We need
Seriously.
ordinary,
Seriously.
ordinary,
Can you imagine
everyday
me-
people.
Could you imagine me in the House of Representatives? You think Elemental P or whatever the hell her name is bad? Can you imagine me in the House of Representatives? with all the blood and guts and the throats torn out, but especially that fucker, Weeble Wobble Jerry and shit like that. Okay,
Nadler.
I don't have the personality to be a person.
I could actually see you, Jerry, because you have the personality.
Okay, well, here's the bottom line.
I don't have the personality because I fly off the fucking handle way too much, and what that's going to get is about $100 million in a bank account that I never started, and me ended up in jail. So I'm very happy that you guys want me to be in jail.
Well, no, I don't want you to be
assault, but thank you so much. That's beautiful.
No, I don't want you in jail, Jerry. I don't want me ever to be one of them, because I fear that it would be very easy to corrupt me to be what I don't want to be. I don't see the job ever getting back to the point of where I could hang a sign up tomorrow. I could do a video tomorrow that says, I want to be your representative from whatever district this is. And actually, I don't, because Kat Kamek is our representative, and I think she's one of the most fantastic representatives I've ever had the pleasure of watching.
Have you seen her do her TikTok videos?
No.
She's done some good fighting.
Yeah, I've seen her.
Oh yeah.
And she has. I've watched her go up against Adam Schiff in the hallway.
I have tried very hard, repeatedly, going through whoever gopher I have to go through first to work my way up just to get her on for 15 minutes, and I've never gotten an answer, and it's not in any disrespect to Kat. I just gave up because I was getting so angry.
Well, I've watched her go up against Adam Schiff.
Nobody is going to beat Kat Kamek in this area. It's just
no. I wouldn't. I didn't mean running against
Kat Kamek. No, Kat Kamek right now is part of the political machine in these three counties, I think it is. Okay, she's four, something like that. She's part of the political machine. No one's going to beat her.
I didn't mean that to think
no,
that.
We know.
I want to hear what'd she do to Schiff? Did he leave crying? Because she's tough. What did she say to him, Steven?
Well,
she's a tough talker, but what has she actually done? Can I ask somebody, what exactly has she actually fucking done other than talk? I've heard her talk many times on videos. She does Facebook videos all the time and this and that and the other. But tell me what the hell she's actually done.
Didn't she have some legislation about against the Child Mutilation Act, which was basically going against the transgender thing? 'Cause there are actually children that can tell teachers, I really feel like I'm a boy. And the teacher can secretively talk to this little girl and say, well, you can get your breast removed. And I'm pretty sure it was her. I don't know if that is the law that she helped enforce, or else I could have someone else I'm thinking of. But I was pretty sure because
she was part of that. She was part of that.
And I've seen her in the hurricanes and the bad storms that have come through here, being actively involved, making sure that maybe I'm wrong, but the way I saw it, actively being involved, showing you what a House representative is supposed to be doing in Washington, D.C. for her constituents. Involved in doing that kind of stuff through the emergencies. Right, no, but doing what she should be doing because her husband is a first responder. And, I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe she's just a politician with somebody called it an 85-cent photo opportunity. But,
I actually saw
I haven't seen that. But like I said, my issue was just that I worked so hard trying to get 15 minutes of her time, which means that I might have gotten lucky to get 5, and without ever getting up high enough to her to try to get the 15 minutes, and I just said the hell with it and walked away. And it wasn't ego; it was just I just couldn't do it, and it just got to a point where I didn't want to spend weeks doing what I couldn't do anymore. But go ahead, Stephen. You started to say something.
I watched her almost bring Adam Schiff to tears in the hallways on Capitol Hill. He was trying to get her to remove a couple resolutions out of a piece of legislation, and she just looked at him. She says, "I will not remove anything that will harm our children."
I love her.
And if you look at our children of the United States, the parents, you go on camera, you look them in the eyes, and you tell them your children are nothing but fodder to be used as, legislation pawns, and I will not remove any of my legislation from that.
Awesome.
And his bottom lip was quivering. I was 3 feet away witnessing this.
Beautiful.
And I watched his bottom lip quiver, and his eyes get bigger than dinner plates.
Oh God.
They got bigger than dinner plates because right now they're as big as saucers.
Yeah.
But they got as bigger than dinner plates. Bottom lip quivering, tucked tail, and slither away like the snake that he is.
Yeah. My gosh.
Now, I haven't had any in-depth dealings with Kat to get in her ear or to say, definitively that this is what she's doing and whatnot. But I was in that hallway, less than 3 feet away, listening to her berate Adam Schiff.
Awesome.
Is he gonna get what he deserves? Meaning, I hope just out of politics and in a cell somewhere. Terrible thing to say, but or is he just going to slither under a rock and not come out until this is all done?
Folks, I hate to burst your bubble.
I just looked her up. Okay, most of the stuff she's done is in committee. Okay, she hasn't had anything passed. One thing that went to the president's desk got vetoed. All right, and everything else says crossed over, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, tell me, yelling at Adam Schiff should be everybody's pastime and making him cry. I'm sick of politicians who get on Facebook or get on TV and act like tough guys and do nothing. Nothing, because if it's all these, and a lot of them are just resolutions. Wow. Okay, so resolutions is a whole bunch of nothing. All right, and you know what? If they're in committee, chances are 90% of them ain't going to get out of committee. So it's like, why do we keep praising these idiots who do nothing good for this fucking country? Yeah. I'm tired of it. Now, everybody can have their opinion. I'm not yelling at you. It's just, you know what? We started with Trey Gowdy. Everybody wanted him to be president. He was a piece of crap. Okay, and then we ended up with what's his name? We there's so many, one after another to get up there and talk tough and do nothing.
Right.
So that's all I'm saying.
Well, now to answer Dave's question, Dave, I hate to burst everybody's bubble that think that they're going to see Pelosi and Hillary and the Obamas all go to jail.
But
not one. Listen. You have to really study the history of what this government's been doing.
Mm-hmm.
in 1933, when they did House Joint Resolution 192, they put in Title 28 3002-15A, exempting them from prosecution except for high treason and treason.
Which is everything that they've done.
Okay?
Wow.
But getting proof that they've committed this treason and high treason, you're not going to get the proof.
Because it would be high treason for the people who have the proof to give the proof.
Okay? So they exempted themselves from being prosecuted while in office.
Unless you're Trump.
Yeah, that's true. Well, but he, you know,
You're not going to see, I've heard so many conspiracy theorists saying the real Joe Biden's dead and this is his double.
I don't want to hear it anymore.
That they arrested Nancy Pelosi, they arrested Maxine Waters, they arrested this one, and they arrested, what's that other one from California with Fang Fang? What was his?
Swalwell.
Swalwell.
Swallow well.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
okay.
Ken, that was
It's absolutely ludicrous bullshit, wishful thinking. If you're going to listen to them and say, "Oh yeah, Nancy's in Gitmo, and this one's in Gitmo, Hillary's actually in Gitmo," no.
I got so tired of that only because someone sent me a video that was like 2.5 hours, and I watched the whole thing.
Why did you?
And every so often it was this person
Sucker.
went to Gitmo, they had their tribunal, they were, and then it went on throughout this whole thing, and it was like Nancy went, she had her tribunal, she's done. Then at the end of it, it was like Nancy went to Gitmo, she had her tribunal, she's done, but they sent a clone back. And it was like, it got to the point where I wrote the person who did the video, and I'll probably never get an answer. If everybody goes to Gitmo and everybody's had their tribunal and they're all done, and you send clones out, isn't there some point where the clones are going to have to be?
Jerks.
And if that's the point, then why did we send clones out? Why didn't we just tell everybody that this person went to Gitmo and they're done?
It was
they
it's just to
be
make you.
a clone of that hag?
No,
I mean,
it's just to
really?
make you happy and shut up. That's why they do that.
Right, but if the truth comes out that she went to Gitmo and she had her tribunal, it was high crime, high treason, and this and that, and we all know what happens with that. Why wouldn't they want us to think that we got justice rather than thinking that they have to send a clone
Just to shut you up, to make
some of
us
the
shut up.
conspiracy theories are so stupid though that they don't shut me up because they just
You gotta talk. I know.
We clone sheep and shit. We don't
What?
clone humans. We clone sheep.
Oh,
We don't
yeah.
clone humans.
You don't know.
No.
I imagine everyone's going to
Nick.
come in and say, no, we're cloning, and then you watch TV shows where it's not for evil purposes, but they're cloning babies to get parts for other babies, or maybe it is bad.
Well, they can grow parts in a lab and all that good shit.
If they can do that, I can imagine that, I don't know. That was my question. I'm 61 years old. If someone made a clone of me, does it take 61 years for that clone to get to this point where I am now, Stephen? Because I don't know enough about the technology.
Okay, 25 years ago, nobody ever heard of 3D printing.
Right.
Okay, that you could do this, that, but here's the thing. Did you know 3D printing is 45 years old?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
sure it is.
I would believe it because the government probably went to somebody and said, "Here's a large amount of money.
They hid it.
We now own this technology."
Yeah,
Okay.
they hid it
So-
because it's so powerful right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like the guy
You make
who
guns, you make what you build a house out of 3D printing.
Yeah.
you can make a gun out of 3D printing that they can't trace.
So here's the thing. Now you can buy a 3D printer and all the filaments dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Okay. So cloning of humans. Where do you think they got the idea for stem cell research?
Oh wow.
From cloning.
Exactly.
Well, good question. Good question. Touche, Stephen. Touche.
I'm probably the last one to say this, but I like doing these broadcasts because sometimes I just have to say to people, I must be one of the stupidest people I know because I've never thought.
Not stupid.
No, I
Not
know,
stupid.
but I just mean because I've never actually.
Ill-informed.
I'll speak something out of my mouth like they can be cloning us tomorrow, but it can't. You know, it would take 61 years to make a clone of me and not understand that they could probably do it in less than an hour.
Well, here's the deal. Okay. Right now they have the technology, Dave, to take a still shot of your screenshot of your face right now.
Oh,
Okay.
good Lord. Broken camera.
That's why I shaved today, Jerry.
Okay. And then within 48 hours have an AI robot made in your
Right.
image.
Yeah. Well, I know you can do that now. I mean, I've gone onto those
Okay.
those websites that say you can make an AI clone of yourself, and in 3 hours it can do your broadcasts. It'll even write a script and do it for me. But
Okay.
Hey, look into that, Dave.
it costs about $15,000 an episode, Nikki. So
Okay. So if they have that ability to do that, who's to say they haven't made one of you already?
Right.
that
Okay.
would make sense because if you listen to Mark Zuckerberg when he's talking casual, he'll say that every Facebook account has been cloned at least 100 times. Now, you would imagine then Bill Gates would be sitting next to him, and the person who owns that account has probably been cloned 1,000 times in reality. So,
Okay.
I
And
mean,
so what are the certain things that Bill Gates wants to do population control that, we all know that he says, oh, there's too many people on the planet. We need to thin the herd because we're not going to have enough food. We're not going to have this. We're not going to have that. So what is an AI robot image of yourself doesn't need?
food.
Doesn't need food. Doesn't need air.
No.
Doesn't need air. Doesn't need to be hydrated. Doesn't need water.
Tesla.
Okay.
Wow.
Doesn't need fed.
My AI guy, for me, needs Oreos. I can tell you that right the fuck now.
Yeah.
All right, I ain't going without no damn Oreos.
That's funny.
I can just imagine the gunfight at the Jerry Corral will just be the door will open and the first AI will come out with whatever. when that gun's empty, boom, and then the next one will come out, and the last one will be Jerry, and he's going to win that battle.
Bag of double stuffed Oreos. Yeah.
Those are good.
Now,
No, that's how Jerry wins because he's just going to come out and throw bags of double stuffed Oreos at these clones of other military guys, and they're just going to grab the Oreos and sit
And
down
they're
and
like,
They know.
short
we're
circuit.
hungry. We're hungry. Yeah.
but
To win the war is the water hose and some water supply. I mean, they're all electronic shit. Just hose them down. What?
But
Hey.
Stevie, could you imagine that if say 100 clones of you showed up in Montana, and you just started throwing like bags of Halloween candy at them, and they grabbed them and opened them, and how quickly would it be that easy to corrupt them to the point where they would put their guns down and sit there and want you to throw
They
more bags
don't
of candy at them?
You don't want 100 of me.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm just saying, if they showed up at your house with AK-47s and you threw bags of Halloween candy at them and they grabbed them, are they that easy? I mean, it's me. Is it that easy to corrupt them?
All I got to do is take you back to a movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger did, where they cloned him.
Okay.
And they took him out of the mix, but he broke free, and he watched an AI image of himself interact with his family. But the one thing that should give everybody a clue, okay, is they can't, but they're working on the process of being able to read your thoughts.
Oh, God.
Okay? They can't read, they haven't gotten to that part yet. They don't, okay, so if they show up in Montana or here, they don't have any of the security codes that I have for my personal stuff. They don't have what's up here. They don't know where everything is hidden. Okay? And a quick, surefire way of telling the difference between an AI robot of me and me is the emotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
They can't show emotion. That is
No,
correct.
but no, Jerry had a really good point. Those
They'll
are
try it, but I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to work.
What if you had a powerful hose, like that
If
the
I
fire
had powerful
department has?
hose, I would
Yeah.
be a billionaire.
No, they're electrical. What if you hose them all down? What if they like?
They're encased. They're encased. All you got to do is go back to the International Scout 4-wheel drive vehicle. The whole electrical problem, pulse of that vehicle was encased. You could open the doors and hose down the inside of that truck,
It's like
and
a Jeep.
everything was encased.
Yeah.
So are the robots. They're totally encased.
Wow, it's crazy.
They have a plastic. That makes it feel flesh, like real live human flesh.
Oh God, yeah.
But it's like a latex. It's a rubber. Okay. But if you see like 3 of me and me in the same room,
Run.
no, don't run. You get 4 other friends, and you stab each one of us in the leg, and the one that bleeds, that's me. That's me.
Oh God, no! We're not gonna hurt you to find
Make
out.
sure,
Oh, come on. I've been through worse.
make sure you kick the knife out of my hand, Steve. Steven, I couldn't do that.
Oh, come on.
Well, Steven would be the one smart enough to kick the knife out of your hand. Then you know he's the real one.
No, I'd let you
See?
stab me so you could see me
Just for
bleed
shits and
and see
giggles.
the other ones leak
Yeah.
hydraulic fluid.
Oh God.
Yeah. Like a windmill leaking hydraulic fluid.
Oh
Oh
God.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Jared, what do you think? Have the 4 of us gone crazy, and you're the only one that can run for Congress and save us?
Okay. I'm not running for Congress, Dave. I know me. You know, when I was in my 20s, I knew there was no way I should ever be a cop. Okay. In my 20s. Nobody in their 20s thinks like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I did. I know that something bad would happen if I did. And you know what? I'll be truthful. There is nothing I would love to do better, but at some point you have to realize your limitations and figure out what they are, and then go with that, go from there. And I have. And I'm better off doing this because, well, first of all, nobody listens, and secondly, I so far haven't really hurt anybody. So this is a good thing. It is. And as far
They,
as the robots, Steven, I'll stab you in the fucking temple to find out if you're alive
Oh
or
God.
or a robot. No problem. Yeah, I'll do it. Anything
Hey,
to save you from jumping out of a fucking airplane with fucking Icarus wings on, I'll do it for you.
On your birthday.
Stephen,
Okay.
I need an honest
Hey,
answer to a question.
hey, but first, do me a favor. When somebody else isn't, is talking, I want each of us to mute. I'm getting a lot of feedback and echo.
Yeah, I
So
am
mute
too.
mute your
I am
mic.
too.
We're running a fan here.
Okay, mute your mic, and okay, it's gone. So it is your mic. Okay, what's your question, Dave?
Is there any truth to the it's not really a fear, it's just finding out the reality. Facebook, guys like Jerry, Jen, me, you, when you're doing the crazy horse fireside chats, are they really burying us because there are people watching us? Because if they ever came to me one day and said, "We've been burying you for 4 years, but 100,000 people a night have been watching you," it would blow my mind.
They've been shadow banning.
It's
It's
not
called
100,000 people anyway.
well, it's called shadow banning. Okay, and they do it quite regularly to people who speak truth or critical thinking. They use fear and intimidation to keep everybody in line. And then there's this small portion of Americans and there's a small portion of people worldwide that are saying, we're not going to take this anymore. And we speak up, we speak the truth, and they shadow ban you. They put like a funnel, like here's your reachable, target, that you can actually reach. And when they see people starting to view you, if the numbers get so high, they create this algorithm that when you get so many people viewing your broadcast, they close it tighter. So not everybody's going to come on and listen. Okay. Have you ever noticed that when you first got on Facebook, your post and your friends' post, you saw everybody's post, boom, 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 and now you can post something, and it takes days for your friends to see the post.
Yeah, that's every day. My news
Okay.
4 days behind every day.
Okay. But here's the reason why. They're shadow banning us because they don't want us to grow in numbers.
Yeah.
That's why Rumble and True Social are getting so much bigger now. So, yeah, they're burying us. You, Jerry, anybody that has a show, a live feed that speaks the real truth.
Jen, they're burying you.
Anybody that,
especially because you're here with the three of us.
and
Yeah, I
and
don't feel bad about that for Jen, but unfortunately, she's trying to get us all arrested now, and I don't feel bad about it no more. But I used to, when I first started doing videos, I'd get 800 comments and I'd get, 800 views or 1,500 views. And that was back during Obama. And within like a year, we were down to getting 30, 40 people. And, we'd still get like 400 or 500 comments. And then now We get like 150 comments, maybe if we're lucky, 200, and the views are 60, 70 views, and so yeah, that's been going on all the social media, YouTube, everything else. I don't know, God, how many years? I've had
Um,
over 5,000 videos taken down over on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because, like, a couple of them went against their community standards that I'm pretty sure aren't written down anywhere. They just make them up as they go, and that's how it goes. There's nothing I can do about
yeah.
it.
No, I know.
Well, Jerry, you remember when me and Mr. Brutally Honest, Chris Logan, we had our show,
God, I
uh,
miss him.
and we were on YouTube, we were on Facebook, we were on Periscope, which was part of Twitter,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
within 3 months, when we went to the part teaching people how to correct their status within the corporation of the United States of America, how to become sovereign, we got banned from YouTube. Twitter shadow banned us so badly, we were only getting 3, maybe 4 participants watching the show. On Facebook, we went from 10,000 viewers down to probably around 40. We actually had, well, that I know of, Chris doesn't know this, but we actually had 2 viewers that were viewing the show on how to become sovereign were arrested. Because they went into their communities and were telling their friends and family and other people, hey, this is what the government's been doing since 1913, since 1871, and this is how we're correcting it, and they got arrested. So when we stopped the show, it was at my behest. I didn't want any more viewers being put in that position. So I stopped the show.
I miss him. I used to sit down every morning and with almost a pot of coffee and post him in 150 groups. That was back when Facebook didn't care and they weren't really bugging you. And
he's still in Oklahoma.
I miss him. If you ever run into him and he wants to join us on a Tuesday or a Thursday night,
he got kicked off of Facebook. He's not allowed back on.
he doesn't have to be on Facebook, but if he ever wanted to come on.
Well, let's just put it this way. If his likeness is ever shown on Facebook,
Okay.
you'll get the same as he did.
Well,
This is my 27th account, folks. I've been kicked off of Facebook 26 times without warning. I remember the first time I got kicked off of Facebook, I went in to log in. It says the account does not exist. So I started another one. It didn't take all but 2 days for them to kick that one off. Started another and another and another. And then it took a lawsuit after the 26th time. And I've had this account since 2016. So it took a lawsuit.
so is the answer though then I'm not sure why you were still plugging on Facebook, but Jen and Jerry and I, is the answer that Facebook is not as important as I think it is, only because I keep thinking I can reach the most amount of people
Facebook is not
pocket on Facebook, as opposed to Rumble wants money and this one wants money and that one wants money. But go ahead, Stephen.
Well, Facebook is not your number one target area. It's not. You can start a Patreon account that, if you want to be on Rumble, that for people to view your material on Rumble, they have to pay you through Patreon a subscription fee. Okay, and they're doing that over on TikTok now to go live. So
My only problem with TikTok keeps coming back to people telling me, well, they have, Beijing ByteDance owns it, and TikTok. I mean, the CCP has a seat on the board of directors, and I don't know why. It just means that I can't go there. But I mean,
but Rumble's good.
Rumble's good, I know.
Now X has an area that you can do live shows.
Right.
But it's only voices in your avatar picture. So it's more like radio.
Yeah. We'll talk about
we need to and I spoke with I spoke with several people, including Trump, a few years back, about starting a Facebook type site, but it was going to take a lot of money to do, and I'd rather, if I'm going to spend $155 million to start a foot book, let's use another body part.
That's just bail money for you.
Okay.
That's just bail money for you.
Didn't Rumble marry in with Facebook through the digital world acquisition media, their corporation?
Rumble is its own entity.
I know, but didn't they, through when Trump and Digital World Acquisition Corp became Trump Media and Technology Group, didn't that involve some kind of partnership agreement between Truth Social and Rumble that was eventually going to bring being able to do videos to Truth Social? Because
well,
I don't know if Trump didn't want to spend the amount of money that it was going to cost to be able to do live video, but who knows if that was an accurate statement either.
But well, okay, let's go to another new program out there. It's called Frank. Mike Lindell built it. His people built it. He doesn't have my kind of money, but he spent a lot of money starting Frank.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things you can't do on Frank. And going live is one of them. So, now, if I'm going to spend, like I said,
there used to be
what happened to
site
Jen?
that was called Live.
She may have,
well,
she's buffering right, and she turned her camera off, which means she stepped away, but
listen, there used to be a site, it was called Live Leak. Now, you talk about a freedom of speech place. It puts everything we have as far as freedom of speech to shame. Completely to shame. That's how you had to have thick skin if you put videos on there. But I would put a video on there and I would get mostly hate mail, but I would get in one day 5,000 to 10,000 views. Okay, you were allowed to literally say any damn thing you wanted. And they went out of business because of how much it costs to run a live video. And they were one of them ones with the videos where, if you wanted to see somebody burned up in a cage, that was the place to go. Okay. And then, of course, they had their live videos. But the amount of money it took for them to run the live videos, and not that many people other than me were doing live videos. There's only a few, and we would go on there, and one day they just shut down because it cost so much. Yeah, I don't know what it costs exactly, but it is an amazing amount of money to run, have for bandwidth and whatever else they got to do. But we'd have 250, 300 people on the live with us, you know, and we interacted with everybody, and we had the same show we have now. We would talk about anything and everything, and people liked it. The same ones come back every week, and but it just costs so damn much. It's impossible. And I'm not a writer. It's that simple. Okay, I may be a lot of things, but a writer ain't one of them. So the problem is that unless it has live video, it's not going to really work for me.
Great. Yeah, Live Leak was also sued several times.
Oh yeah, a bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Yeah.
Um,
I actually was kind of
the
friendly
bigger
with
ones.
one of the guys who owned it. His name was Hayden, and he's actually a pretty cool guy. Yeah, he's an Englishman from Manchester and stuff, and he was one of the ones who started it. And he got out of it for whatever reason. I think he saw the writing on the wall, but they suddenly started getting advertising, and advertising always kills free speech.
mhm.
Because then you have to have admins. And once you have admins, then what you have is a bunch of snitty ass motherfuckers who never put their face to anything, and they'll have you taken down. And it's
Oh,
kind of sad. And
Oh, you mean like Telegram?
Oh God!
I was never on Telegram.
Don't even get me started on Telegram.
Morse code.
I got invited into so many groups on Telegram when they opened, and one by one they were all gone.
Well, I just got to tell you about my experience with
Okay.
Telegram.
I got to head toward wrapping up, but go ahead, Steve.
Okay, a few years back, somebody invited me, and we all know her. Shawty invited me to Telegram, so I joined.
Shardy, where the hell's she been?
I spoke with her the other night.
Jeez.
But anyhow, I joined her little group that she started, and then somebody invited me to the Punisher War Room. Now, the guy who started the PWR, ex-Marine, very, very knowledgeable young man. Then he started having admin and moderators and whatnot. And one of his moderators and admin and I had a clash. So I told Jesse, I said, Jesse, if you keep him on, I won't come back. I said, this guy he's a bowl of Fruit Loops mixed with fucking Raisin Bran. And he makes a lot of people uncomfortable. Well, I don't know what this guy had over the owner of the Punisher War Room, but he would not get rid of him. So I left the group. Then I got a message that, oh, so-and-so's gone. He's no longer with the PWR. And I said, okay. So I went back and I listened for like 2 or 3 nights. And I interacted. Then, another account was made. And I could tell just by how they posted stuff to the board that this was the same person I had clashed with. So I called them out. 2 days later, This person was in my town, came all the way from California, mentally unhinged, went and because he had friends somewhere that could trace the IPO address and showed up here in Pittsburgh. And I recognized the voice right away. And I don't know about any of you, but I carry 6 at a time. And I told him, I says, you better get your ass back on a plane for California, because if you don't, they're going to be planting you in the Allegheny Cemetery.
Okay.
And then I called the cops, showed them the evidence of his stalking and his harassment, physical evidence you couldn't deny, dead cats on my doorstep. So that's my experience with Telegram.
Ooh. All right, let me see.
And Stephen, I don't know if you know, I have these.
What is that? Failure?
The Gift of Failure.
Failure.
Oh,
Okay.
Dan Bongino's book.
Okay.
Oh, and wait, signed copy. Yeah.
Mark R11.
Okay.
Oh, the Democrat Party hates America.
Mark Levine.
Yeah.
Mark Levin. It's
Levin.
actually
Then,
signed.
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
I have both of Bill Muckler's books, and they're autographed.
So if you all want me to, I will look into starting my own type of, we'll call it foot book.
Foot book.
I don't care what you call it. You can call it Jerry's book for all I care.
Okay.
Fubar, kind of like my shirt. This whole shirt is based on a comic book called Fubar. That one of my brothers, well, my brother's best friend. He's an artist, and he writes comic books. But he's a veteran. Spent like 4 tours in Afghanistan, and it's called Murphy's Fubar.
Yeah.
And yeah, this dude is a great artist, and I got the shirt. I got the license plate. I got the comic books. I got signed first
Cool.
edition
Cool.
copies of shit.
Well,
It's cool.
6 years ago, when I was seriously thinking about doing so, this was 6 years ago. God only knows what it would cost now, but the price tag on it was $155 million. It's probably tripled by now.
It's crazy money.
Okay. And then, as Jerry was speaking, to have one person do a live feed takes approximately between $30,000 to $50,000.
So the question I have to ask then is, if someone comes to you and says, let's start this thing. It's going to cost $150 million. It's going to cost $30,000 to $50,000 per, say, be nice and say 2-hour time slot. Guys like me are going to come to you. Are we going to be blown out of the water by the Bonginos and the Hodge twins and all the people that have the money that can come in? Oh, okay, we'll write you a check for $150 million. Now we're on for the next 300 years.
No, because the money won't come from them.
Okay.
Okay. And just like Facebook or Meta, they started with the advertising. That's where they get the money
Oh yeah.
to allow people to do live feeds. Because if you ever look at your page, you may see like 2 or 3 posts from friends, and then all of a sudden like 3 or 4 advertisements.
Yeah.
Okay. That's where they're getting the money to allow you to do this show.
Yeah. I read before we went on tonight, he's asking the European Union to charge $14 a month unless a person agrees.
I gotta go, Dave.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jerry, but come back Thursday.
Take care, man.
Sometime. You're on
Yeah.
tomorrow.
All right,
All right.
no problem. I appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jerry. I'll see you tomorrow night.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to have some conversations with you. And I know I've pestered you about it before, so I'll wait until you send.
Well, I'm seriously thinking about doing it. Because guess what? I can pick and choose who I allow to advertise
Yep.
on my platform. And one of the reasons why YouTube shot me and Chris out of the water is because we wouldn't agree to their monetary stipulations and rules and regulations. Like, no, we don't. We won't allow advertising during our show. Where it would flash at the bottom of the screen, this advertisement. There's certain companies I don't deal with. Anheuser-Busch is one of them, and I've been boycotting Anheuser-Busch for the last 3 decades.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with Mulvaney. So they says, well, if you don't,
we could do a broadcast on that one night because I don't care what Mulvaney says. I don't care what the CEO of Anheuser-Busch InBev says. BlackRock owns 400,000 shares of just Bud Light. Forget about what they own anywhere else. It's worth about $13 billion from what I understand. And I do not believe that $13 billion investment didn't have them sitting in on all of the meetings where this stuff was going to go down with Mulvaney. And they just said, oh, yeah, okay, we'll just allow you to flush our $13 billion down the toilet.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. $13 billion to Vanguard or BlackRock is like you pulling the 20 out of your wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't have that kind of money.
No.
but what I'm saying, in
that case, we're going to go home.
God forbid, we'll all be invading your house, Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might get shot, but we might make it in.
See, it's the people
You're gonna
like
send
yourself.
Tolliver one to Jacksonville to pick me up and take me to Montana to do my show every night, and then fly me home, right?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
You'd have a better chance of seeing God.
Yeah. Like I said, might get shot.
But here's my parting words. It's people who, like the people watching, the people like yourselves, like Michael Anthony and Jen and Jerry, who have a moral compass, and they desire the truth to be told. We're a dying breed, okay? And the reason why they funnel your viewership to such a small, group is because how many people come onto your show that just stumbled on it and then just sat here to listen to hear what we all have to say and get educated on a moral compass and truth and faith in humanity. Okay? Because when you got a group of people and it's the same group coming and we're all like-minded, your numbers are going to stay small. So they don't want it to broaden out to where these new people come in. Okay? That's why, you irritate me at times, but that's why I'm glad you do this. Like there's groups you belong to and you share it out and then you ask them to share it with their friends. It's like Amway. Okay? You get your circle bigger and bigger, but their algorithms to keep your group small is so strong.
Yeah.
In order for you would have to share it, this broadcast, with 1,000 of your friends, and they would have to share it with, each one of them would have to share it with 300 to 500 of their friends constantly. And you would be sitting there hitting the share button and not even be involved in the conversation that's going on. So
I hear you.
we're a dying breed. Truth, justice, and a good moral compass. My motto is God, family, and country.
Yeah.
Okay.
The count we see, real quick before I have to go, the count we see, which right now is like 4 watching.
Yeah.
That's not who's listening.
On
Because
average,
I
we
can
get,
go on Facebook and listen, and you won't know I'm listening.
Right.
on average, we get 30 to 50 watching on my end. Jerry's end, I know it's more. And between Tuesday and Thursday, on Thursday, the Tuesday might have been watched 100 times.
Well, what he's talking is while you're on right now.
Yeah.
Because I got to be honest with you, Dave. When you first started doing, the first time I came across Boogie with the Bull,
Yep.
I would turn the speaker on, but I wouldn't enter your show.
Yeah.
Because
it doesn't count as a watcher.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
You're just incognito in the background.
No, I know.
And I did that several times before I actually entered your show, to watch it and see the comments. See, because if you're just listening, you can't read comments.
Right.
Okay. So, and I did that for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to hear what you were about. Okay. What kind of programming and platform you were on. And the second reason, I just didn't trust it. I just don't trust anybody.
Okay.
I did the same thing with Jerry for like.
So did I.
50 of his shows before I actually got into the room and was counted as a viewer, and I commented and I made comments and to be quite honest with you, one of the first time shows that I ever went into that Matt was in, I made the comment about fragging him because he just rubbed me the wrong way. And Matt, I think that's his badge of honor.
That was his job. That was his job. He did the same to me, and I threatened to quit the goddamn show.
And that was before I was even a guest.
But then I figured him out. I was like, okay, Jerry, I got him. I see what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because he does it to everybody.
But that
feel them out.
That was long before I became a guest.
Yeah.
Okay. And Shorty is the one that told me, hey, you got to check out the American Rebellion show. And it took me a long time to warm. Okay.
She's tough.
And she was one of my first viewers in mine and Chris's when we were doing our shows. And it took me a long time to warm up to her. Okay. But once I did, I still, just because she says, come check out the American Rebellion. And when it popped up on my page, I turned the speaker on and I listened. And then like for 50 shows before I ever went in and commented. And then I became a guest once in a while. I wasn't an every night regular like Nick and Matt were, and what's his name, Dave. And there was a couple.
That other Dave.
And there was a couple other guests that were regular people on the show that since had gone on and done something else. And then I started coming in as a guest, but I was never every show co-host, so to speak. And I don't want to be an every show co-host. I just don't want to be.
We still have that, I try to make it as best I can for every show. We get Daryl, Jen, Dave, yourself, Stephen.
But I miss Matt.
Yeah,
I miss him.
Matt needs to at least one more time come back for a show.
I started doing the American Rebellion, I think, right after he left. And
yes,
and
that is correct. Matt doesn't realize how much we miss his.
To be the guy with a profound comment that would get everybody talking.
Yeah.
And I know
pissed off
people that
one way or the other.
On that note, I got to get going.
Yeah, I got to wrap it up. My wife has to work in the morning.
Okay. Well, everybody watching, thank you.
Thursday, you're welcome. And if you ever see Chris Logan and we can get him on somehow on a Tuesday or Thursday, I would graciously appreciate it.
Okay. I
watch him in the morning almost every day if I could.
Yeah. I'll give him a call in the next day or two. Okay.
All right,
thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure, Stephen. All right. Crazy words taking off. We got to do this before you go, Nikki.
Hold up. Got to do this.
Got to do this. All right, Nikki. I will do my best if I can to be downstairs on the American Rebellion with the folks tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure. Your parachute ready?
Yeah. Oh, it's packed. I don't know if it's packed very well, but I may make a free fall. But anyway.
All right. And Jerry Michaels and Jen Woodruff, Stephen Tolliver, who are all on the American Rebellion. And when they can, they join us Tuesday, Thursday on Boogie with the Bull. And I appreciate them doing so. I'm going to keep the closing short. We have a new group. It's Moving America Forward. Move America Forward. Move America Forward with an exclamation point at the end. There is another Move America Forward. I wasn't aware of that when we decided that we were going to name the new group Move America Forward. So Move America Forward with an exclamation point on the end. It's a public group. Go join it. Blow it up with stuff. Thank you for watching. Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. On Thursday, we're not going to send it to the Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group. We're only going to send it to my profile. So watch it on the Dave Goulden profile. That way we can eliminate the Facebook user stuff until we can talk to StreamYard one more time and see if we can figure out why we're getting Facebook users on the group. I thought we resolved it, but we'll figure it out. Danny Campbell, always a pleasure to have you watching. And I'm going to wrap it up. Everybody here is going to bed, so I got to wrap this up. Thank you. We'll see you Thursday, 7 p.m., 9 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. The American Rebellion downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. You know the drill. We'll see you.